Okay, for those who are not clear, so I will come to that example and in a diagram where you can able to see exactly what are the client server and how what does mean of API. So here from this example, maybe you can able to see this is a database along with the application. Our application having a database, and this is basically another part. This could be your system. This is mobile. So basically, you may consider this is an weather database where it's having the information about all the database. I mean all the data of weather information for each country. Now you wanted to see okay what's your weather. So you have an app in either you can go through that browser www dot any information like weather.com, or you have downloaded the app in your mobile. So once you start are seeing the weather, it's request. You can see this line which goes towards the API. So if you are basically browsing from your system, so the request like when you put www something like that, this request goes to that API. The then the API basically reach out to the application server. This is basically the application server where application server handle the request. So you can see this line like that, the application server handling the request. Now the application interact with the database, return to that response to the API, and API will send back to your browser, I mean your system part. So that's the way it's worked. That's why I told you it's in a contract between two servers. One is your application server and one is your system. Now I told you like there is a in when we talk about the API, there is a two popular things comes. The popular things which are just wait, still few person joining admit. So the two popular things are basically one is a client and one is a server. So from this perspective, whatever you are browsing or sending a request, those are called a client, like your tablet, phone, your system, those are a client. From where this information are stored or who send the information, that's basically we call server. That's we call client server architecture. Two-tier architecture is also known as a client server architecture. For anything, suppose between me and you there is a one protocol to exchange the information. That's called a language. I'm speaking in English, you guys understanding and listening that language. So if I will speak like any other language or any other protocol which you don't understand, so there is a no meaning on that part. So for anything, there is a protocol defined how the communication will be happen. It's happen based on the protocol. So this API, basically when we talk about as an API, so it's in a contract between two systems. Like for me and you, it has been contract that I can speak either English and Hindi. So that's an contract. So in API, basically it's an contract which define that okay how the communication will be happen, and that's we called APIs, which lies between two system, either client or server or consumer and provider. So I already explained what is server and what is client. Now my question is that are you also clear what is provider and what is consumer? Just put in a chat like whether you are clear or not. And it's good to have you can just explain in one line. I'm giving 1 minute or 2 minutes that you can provide okay what is a provider and what is consumer. I'm making an easy for you, like I explain what is a server and what is a client. So whether server will be consumer or provider, where client will be consumer or provider, you can put like that, like server provider, server consumer, client provider, client consumer, something like that. You can just put in one line. I would like to see that how much you are understanding it. Please, guys, you have a couple of minutes only. Good, Priyanka. Good, Mukta. Gautam, provider is not like a database. A provider is basically server which provide the information. Within that server, there could be a database. For an example, it's not necessary that server or provider having a database. It's just an a logic like in calculator. So if you are pushing 2 plus 2, which comes 4, if that information come from server, there is no database. That's just only in logic. So don't be confused like that. Okay, provider will have provider have a database. It could be, it could not be. Provider is basically from the server perspective, which send the information to the consumer.
Yeah, thank you for your information.
Yeah. So I hope it's
Yeah,
clear.
yeah, it's understand. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah. Good. Okay, so we are coming back to again. So I explain this part like it's in a contract between two systems, which is basically we called in API term, we called provider and consumer. So I also explained in previous like that there are some protocol which we used, and I explained back like that what could be those two protocols which we will discuss. So here once you can see this REST API and the SOAP services. I am not sure how much of you guys knows about that, but I will start from very basic for those two as well, and also YAML and JSON part how it could be. So for now, I think so it's very much clear regarding that part. What is an API? And let me know if everyone is still not having clear. You may put N. For those guys who had been missed, don't worry about that. I'll cover up either in recording part. You may get it. Either I will explain you later on that part. So don't worry about that. If you joined late and you missed some basic concepts of API, so we cover this part. Now the popular things which I explain like that here, we will discuss about this YAML and JSON. I thought to be directly go on the API, which are basically two different types for which we are talking about, either REST API or SOAP services. But before going to this part, I already explained you, we will also cover the surrounding part. So if I will skip this YAML and JSON, so you could not able to understand properly this REST API. So that's why I'm starting with the surrounding part YAML and JSON, which is our next topic. Also, guys, like it's 1.5 hour of session. I mean 90 minutes. Within 90 minutes, we will take a break of 5 to 10 minutes after 40 minutes. So we don't worry about that also like that. Okay, you have to sit for 1.5 hour. We will also keep a small break of 5 minutes or 5 to 10 minutes in between. So YAML is an anti-markup language. How much of you known as a markup language? Can you just put any markup language into chat? In meantime, I'm proceeding it, but I would like to see like that whether you know that what is a markup language. Can anyone tell like that which are the famous markup language? Yeah, good, Susmita. Yes. So like HTML, CSS, those are basically markup language. Here an anti-markup language, basically we called it another markup language. This the YAML means. YAML file having an extension like you can save .yml or .yaml. Like for HTML, you can see that somewhere it's saved .htm or .html. So any of the YAML file are having these two extension names, one of them it can be used. And it's allow a specific syntax rule. It's not like HTML, you can see there's a syntax rule, like it's start with that tag, HTML, then head, then body. So something like that basically also there is some specific syntax rules for YAML as well. The thing is, for HTML part, you should aware about that what does tag mean. Like if there's an HTML tag, so what does it mean? What does mean a body means? If you are not an IT person, you couldn't able to understand. Okay, what does body do, or what does head do? What does header do? So all those tag you don't get it, like ID, CSS, etc. But in markup language, it's not like that. You can able to understand all the things. So it doesn't have any tag, but it's in a syntax rule how to write it. I will let you know later on the importance of the YAML, why it's become very popular and very usable at the moment now. So as I told you, like it's an easy and human readable. For an example, I'm taking example of food item. So this is a YAML syntax. You may save it .yaml or .yaml as well. So here from food item, basically you can see these vegetables and fruit both start at the same line. So within vegetables, I put like tomatoes. Within fruits, this is a second listing item. I divided into three categories. One is a citrus, one is a tropical, and one is a nuts. Within citrus, I can put orange. Within tropical, I can put bananas. Within nuts, I can put peanuts. So what does it mean? It means like that there's a food item is an object, like an entity, where basically I'm taking care of foods. Like you have offer a foods to some person, like okay, today I'm inviting for food at my home, and you can divide into two categories. Like one is a vegetable, one is a fruits, thirds maybe you can put chapatis as well. So if it's in a single, you can see this vegetable is in a this vegetable and fruits, and here you can see like it has been written as a tomatoes. So whenever it's in a plural, it will come into in a list. So that's why here I mention as in a list item. Are you aware about that list and normal what you can say that normal object, list of object or normal object? If not, also it's fine. Later on, you can able to understand it. But for your information like that, this is an YAML file, and you can see like that for this YAML file, you don't need any IT knowledge. You can able to easily understand it. Like okay, there are two kind of categories. One is called vegetable, one is a food, and within that, what are the things? So if and for an AP, for an any APIs which is based on that food requirement, like you send from your system, okay, what are the foods available, and the response will become. So for the business perspective, for the business person, for the non-IT person, these information are really very helpful because he can able to understand and determine it. Later on, I will explain more on the concepts of Swagger and YAML perspective and open APIs. But for now, just for like that, how the YAML syntax is basically. Okay, this is another YAML example for employees payslip. So, for an example, you may consider yourself as an employee. Suppose if your information is going to exchange between two systems, how it can be described in a YAML form. So you can put your name, like what's your this is an employee object because you are sending the information of employee. Name is Jacob. What its category, whether it's male and female. So you may put on that part what's its age, what's its title, what's current its profession. You can see these start at the same place, but here like projects comes into two different like automation and support. He works on two different project, automation and support project. This automation and support come inside of the project sections. It's not start same at it where basically name, age, title, and project are getting start. You can see this line. So these are the syntax rule. If anything come, I mean subcategory, you may say that if anything comes inside into of any section, it will start. You have after that, along with that dash mark. So which knows like that this automation and supports belong to this project. These all things belong to employee. Then there's a pay slips. What is month? For which month there's a pay slip? June. What is a Vegas 4,000? What is month July? He got Vegas 45. For the month August he got 4,000. Something like that. Pay slip. What for the last three pay slip? What he got. So you can say regarding this pay slip part, it's belong to basically payslip sections. So here you can see this belong to one entity which is belongs to our employee. The these two belongs to project section, and these two belongs to payslip sections. Now I'm giving a very small assignment of you, and it will take for you only 2 minutes. So you have to design a YAML for yourself where you have to be write your name and address, and within address your city. So name, address and city, only you have to capture 3 points, not more. So just would like to see how you are doing, guys. You have 2 to 3 minutes, quickly do on that part. You can refer to this YAML description as well.
Name, city, and one another.
Name, not name, city, name, address and city.
Okay, name it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you have to just I mean till within 2 or 3 minutes you have to be captured and just put in a chat. Guys, I'm not asking your personal information. I am asking about that the YAML perspective. To basically don't put like sector 16 or etc. I'm not anyone asking about the personal information. You have to be design this YAML. Like here YAML, I capture name, project, and payslip. Name, age, title, project, and payslip. Lot more information. You have to be just capture your name and your address, within address your cities. I wanted to see your syntax actually. I can see a lot of person are doing similar mistakes. It's not a correct YAML. It's more like that. It's not an YAML, I will say. It's more like that. Just on postal part, you put the details. Think again. Look again how this YAML is designed. Gautam, you are more using syntax of JSON. Information, cool, name, almost good Priyanka, but still see again and configure accordingly. Quite good. Takes few more minutes, guys, because I can see some improvement, but still not up to the mark which I'm expecting. Okay, I think uh, you have put your remarks, everyone. Now you may check your YAML here. Just put your YAML and see that whether it's coming properly or not. Let me open it. Are you able to see my screen? This YAML validator. Just put YRN into chat. Yes. So I'm copying. Yes, almost. I'm copying the Saurabh information, which is the last one. So here you can see. I put this information: name Saurabh Yadav, address Pune, city Pune, etc. And I'm clicking on go. Look here. It comes like that. This name at line 3, column 1, implicit map cannot be followed map values. So this mapping is not appropriate. What exactly wrong? As I told you, like that, you can take from here. So in, this name is inside an information. So it will be come from here. Information Saurabh Yadav. This address and name belong to same place, not like a different place.
Your screen is stuck.
Name and address belong to same part, but city
Prashant,
belong
sorry
within.
to interrupt you, but we are not able to see your screen.
Okay, you are not able to because maybe that is not shared. Thanks for sharing it. So what I want to say, I already shared a link to you, right?
Yes.
Of the YAML editor, YAML lint editor,
Okay.
YAMLlint.com. So you may just open and put your details, whatever you have been pasted. The actual details should be like that. The actual YAML should be like that. This is a valid YAML. I put in a chat the valid YAML what exactly, and
Yeah,
I
got that.
also
Thank you.
yeah, and also I shared that YAML lint editor where basically you can validate it. Might be I'm not able to share it, but let me see that if I can share that particular page. Just a second. Chrome tab, share. Just a second. Yeah, let me go here. So like you can able to see, this is the actual YAML. Like here information. I copied one of you guys, which is not appropriate. Now you are able to see, right?
Yes.
So here basically it's an called a lint editor where you can verify your YAML is appropriate or not. I can see a lot of you guys started like that, information, name, something like that. If it will be like that, also the city was like that. So no one put able to correct YAML. And if you click on go, so you can see that the actual YAML should be like that. Maybe you can resolve this, and if you can. So here you can see like where from the information installs. If after information, it will be a name, and the say after name it will be same like an address, and then within address it will be a city. City is inside an address, not same. You can see the starting point. It follow with the this dash. Follow with that starting point as I explained into chat. So you can verify your YAML into this editor already shared. And I'm coming back to the topic again. Here, I just want to share that how you can validate your YAML, whether it's appropriate or not. Is that okay? Okay, fine.
हेलो।
Hello, yes.
अ,
Please go
आपने
on
इस
mute
ट्री में
and
जो
put your point in chat. I will take from there.
Why information is coming as null?
Yeah, just 1 second. Let me first share a screen, then I'll be back. Basically, when you design like that, so what happened here? Put any brackets like that. So it has been considered like that. Okay, it's an also object and there is no information. Null means it doesn't contain any information. Empty object. Suppose if you just put like here and imply and don't put anything, it will be considered as a null point. So that was the reason it was coming to the null. You may edit and check it. Okay. So 9:13 now, and I think we should start. Next part is a JSON. We can see what's the difference between YAML and JSON, how it has been getting used in prospect of each other within the APIs as well. So take a break of a few minutes because it's almost 40 minutes now, more than that. Let's wait. Let's join again after exactly 7 minutes to understand the JSON part, and then we will proceed that further things as well. So guys, it's a small break. Let's meet after 7 minutes.